Hello, fifth graders. So today we are going to continue talking about multiplication. And today we're going to look at multiplying three-digit numbers times a three-digit number. So the format's going to be very, very similar to what we've been doing for the last couple of lessons. So let's take a look. So just like we've been doing, I'm going to kind of change some of the directions as we go. So we're going to take out this use arrows to match partial product. We're not going to do that. So let's take a look at part A. So 1A. So we have 481 times 352. So since we have two three-digit numbers, we need to make sure that our box for our area model has space for all of the numbers. So we need to make sure that we draw a box that is going to be big enough. So we're going to divide it into three spaces this way, and then into three spaces this way. And then we're going to we're going to break our number up into 481 and 352. So we have 400 times 300. We know that 4 times 3 is 12, and we add our 4 zeros to the end, and we get 120,000. We have 400 times 50. We know that 4 times 5 is 20, and we add 1, 2, 3 zeros to the end. And we have 400 times 2. We know that 4 times 2 is 8. We add our 2 zeros and get 800. And we go down to our next row. 80 times 300. We know that 8 times 3 is 24. And we add our 3 zeros to the end. Then we have 80 times 50. We know that 8 times 5 is 40, and we add our 2 zeros to the end. And then 80 times 2. We know 8 times 2 is 16, and we add our 0 to the end for 160. Our last row should be pretty simple because we're just multiplying by 1. So we have 300 times 1, which gives us 300. 50 times 1, which gives us 50. And 2 times 1, which gives us 2. And then we can add them all together. So to make it a little bit easier to add, I'm going to add straight across first, and then I'll add those down. So I'm going to start by adding these three numbers, and then I'll add these three numbers, and then I'll add these three numbers. And then I'll add them all together. So we have 120,000 plus 20,000 plus 800. So 120,000 plus 20,000 is going to be 140,000. Plus 800 will be 140,800. In our next row, we have 24,000 plus 4,000, which gives us 28,000, plus 160, which gives us 28,160. And then 300 plus 50 plus 2 gives me 352. And then I'm going to add them all together. So I like to do it this way when I have these bigger numbers so that I'm not adding 9 numbers all together. I can just add straight across, and then I'm only adding 3 numbers. So I add straight down. Oops. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 plus 5 plus 0 is 11. 8 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 gives us 13. 1 plus 0 plus 8 gives us 9. 4 plus 2 gives us 6. And 1 plus nothing gives us 1. So our final answer is 169,312. So let's take a look at the standard algorithm. So I'm going to skip the standard algorithm for this one, and I'm going to go to the standard algorithm for B. So in B, we have this number, 481 times 302. So I am going to rewrite it, and I'm going to move it over just so I have a little bit more space. So I have 481 times 302. So I'm going to start by multiplying times my ones place. So I'll multiply 2 times 1, 2 times 8, and 2 times 4. So 2 times 1 gives us 2, 2 times 8 gives us 16, and 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Then I'm going to go to my next place. So I have 0 times 1, 0 times 8, and 0 times 4. We add in our placeholder 0 since we're multiplying in the tens place. And then 0 times 1, 0 times 8, and 0 times 4. And then we get to our last place, our hundreds place. So we're going to multiply 3 times 1, 3 times 8, and then 3 times 4. And since we're multiplying in the hundreds place, we add 2 placeholder zeros this time. And then we can start multiplying. 3 times 1 gives us 3. 3 times 8 gives us 24. And 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And then we add the products together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 0 plus 3 gives us 12. 4 plus 1 plus 0 gives us 5. And then 4 plus nothing and 1 plus nothing. So our final answer is going to be 145,262. So we're not going to write anything for Part C, but I do want to talk a little bit about Part C. So in Part C, it says, why are there 3 partial products in 1A and only 2 partial products in 1B? So what that means is this part right here, these zeros, there's no partial product there, right? So when we're multiplying, when we're doing our standard algorithm, we're doing sort of a modified partial product, right? Because this is a part of the product, this is a part of the product, and this is a part of the product. And it's asking, why are there 3 partial products? So 1, 2, 3 in 1A, but only 2 in 1B. And the reason for that is because of the 0. If there's a 0 in one of your factors, then that whole partial product is going to be zeros. So if you have a 3-digit number that has a 0 in it, whether it's in the beginning, it couldn't be in the beginning, whether it's in the middle or at the end, you're only going to have 2 partial products for it. Okay, so we're not going to really answer it, so you can kind of cross that out because we're not going to answer it, we're not going to write anything for it. We're just going to talk about it a little bit. And let's take a look at number 2. So number 2, we're doing the same thing. We're doing area model and standard algorithm, but we have even bigger numbers. So we have a 4-digit number times a 3-digit number. So like we've been doing, we're going to start with the area model. So we need to make sure that our box for our area model is going to be big enough. So I'm going to put my 3-digit number on this side since I don't have as much room going this way. And my 4-digit is going to go along the top. So we're going to break our number down so we have 300, 0, and 5. And then 8,000, 400, 0, and 1. So right away I see some zeros, right? We have zeros here, and we're going to have zeros here. So I'm going to kind of take care of that right away, and I'm just going to put zeros in all of those spots. And I can do that because I know that anything times 0 is 0. So I know that in this box, I'm multiplying 0 times 8,000. And I know that 0 times 8,000 is going to give me 0. So I'm going to put those zeros in right away. And then I'm going to start multiplying. So in our first row, we have 300 times 8,000. 3 times 8 gives us 24, and we add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. That's a big number, 2,400,000. That's really big. And then we multiply 300 times 400. We know that 3 times 4 gives us 12, plus our 2 zeros, plus our 2 zeros gives us 120,000. And 300 times 1 we know is going to give us 300. And since anything times 0 is 0, we don't have to do anything for that middle row, for that kind of second number. We just have zeros straight across. And then we're down to our ones. So we have 5 times 8,000. We know that 8 times 5 is 40, plus 3 zeros to get 40,000. We have 5 times 400. We know that 5 times 4 is 20, plus our 2 zeros gives us 2,000. And then 5 times 1 we know gives us 5. So just like we did, or just like I did in 1A, I'm going to add across first and then add the sums down. So I'm going to start with these numbers, and since I don't have to do anything with my zeros, then I can kind of go straight down to these numbers. So 2,400,000 plus 120,000 is going to give me 2,520,000 plus the 300. And then we have all the zeros. And then we go down to our last row. We have 40,000 plus 2,000 gives us 42,000. Plus the 5 gives us 42,005. Give me just a second. I didn't write these very well or very evenly, so let me rewrite those really quick. So we have 2,520,300 plus 0 plus 42,005. There we go. And then we add straight down. 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. 0 plus 2. 2 plus 4. 5 plus nothing, and 2 plus nothing. So we end up with 2,562,305. Okay. So now we're going to look at using the standard algorithm. So actually I think I'm going to go down to number 3 and use number 3. So I'm going to rewrite number 3 so that I have more space to do it. So I'm going to rewrite it starting up here. So I have 1,346 times 297. So I'm going to start with multiplying in my ones place. 7 times 6, 7 times 4, 7 times 3, and 7 times 1. So 7 times 6 gives me 42. 7 times 4 gives me 28, plus 4 is 32. 7 times 3 gives me 21, plus 3 more gives me 24. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 more is 9. Then we move to our tens place. We have to add our placeholder 0. Then we multiply our tens. So 9 times 6, 9 times 4, 9 times 3, and 9 times 1. So 9 times 6 gives me 54. 9 times 4 gives me 36, plus 5 more gives me 41. 9 times 3 gives me 27, plus 4 gives me 31. And 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 more gives us 12. Before we can go to our hundreds place, we have to add in our 2 placeholder zeros since we're in our hundreds place, and then we get to multiply by our hundreds. So 2 times 6, 2 times 4, 2 times 3, and 2 times 1. So 2 times 6 gives us 12. 2 times 4 gives us 8, plus 1 more is 9. 2 times 3 gives us 6, and 2 times 1 gives us 2. So now we have all of our partial products, and we're going to add them together. So 2 plus 0 plus 0, 2 plus 4 plus 0, 4 plus 1 plus 2, 9 plus 1 plus 9, 1 plus 2 plus 6, and 1 plus 2. So I end up with 399,762. Okay? So, as you can see, the bigger the number, kind of the longer it's going to take. So it kind of just depends on what you're most comfortable with. If you are more comfortable with using the area model, or if you're more comfortable using the standard algorithm, that stack and multiply, it's kind of up to you. So let's take a look really quick at your independent practice, because I am going to change some of the directions a little bit. So for number 1, we are going to, we are going to take out this solve using standard algorithm. So you are only going to solve using an area model. So for number 1, you're going to draw an area model. Part C, we can cross out. We're going to get rid of part C. We're not going to worry about that. For number 2, we're going to take out the solve by drawing an area model. I want you to solve these two using standard algorithm. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake there. We're not going to take that out. This one we're going to take out the and we're going to change it to or. So you can choose which one you want to use for these ones. And for number 3, you're going to solve these ones using standard algorithm. So just to review, number 1, so 1A and 1B, you're drawing an area model. So you don't need to worry about this part. So just worry about the area model. For number 2, you can draw an area model or you can do standard algorithm. And number 3, you're just going to do standard algorithm. Alrighty, so that is your independent practice. If you have any questions about kind of what you're doing for independent practice, please let me know. Before I let you go, let me give you your secret word for today. Today, that word is, sorry, let me grab my paper really quick. Today, that word is lime. So please make sure that you write lime somewhere on your paper. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I am here to help. So if you run into any problems, please let me know. I'm happy to help. Alrighty, have a fantastic day, 5th graders, and I will see all y'all later.